Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 276. Twister! Not the one you're thinking of. My name is Eric.
I'm Jason. Hi.
Hi!
So when you say Twister, not the one you're thinking of, what they're probably thinking of, or what we consider the one you're thinking of, is the Jan de Bont, Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton movie.
That's what would immediately come to mind
when you
say the word Twister.
At least as in accordance to a film. You might think of a Chubby Checker song. And that was the twist,
That
right?
was just the twist.
Yeah.
No, I think if you say Twister, I'm always going to think of the Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton.
You wouldn't think of the board game, the Milton Bradley?
No.
Or whatever?
No.
Yeah, I would always think of the other film.
The other Twister.
Yeah. That's what I would think of.
Yeah. Also known as the good one?
Yes.
It's confession time, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bit of an unorthodox move happened today.
We evil Ernie'd the fuck out of this movie.
And if you don't know what that means, you might not have listened to our Evil Ernie episode.
So we started watching this movie, and I do believe that within the first 5 seconds I called it.
You did.
Yeah.
Half jokingly.
Half jokingly, but
I mean, there's no way you can tell in the first 5 seconds.
It's true. It's very true.
But it ended up being about right.
So,
Oh,
what
man.
was it? About 10 minutes ago, I paused the movie real quick to see how much of it we had watched and how much we had left.
Right. We're about at the halfway point, I think.
It was roughly around there, yeah. About 45 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
That's about an hour and a half movie. 10 minutes passed, and I just looked at you and asked if you just wanted to stop.
Yeah. Which we don't do.
No.
It's not something we do.
We've watched every movie all the way through.
Every fucking good movie and every fucking horrible movie.
Yep. This is episode 276, so approximately half of those is movies.
Right.
Yeah. With some bonus movies in there, too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, good 150 movies, probably.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
This being the first one we just could not get through.
Nope.
You unprecedentedly vetoed in the middle of the film. Yeah, it's awful.
Uh-huh.
Painfully awful.
Yeah. Wow. We sat through Goliath.
Yeah.
That, to me, that has been the benchmark
Right.
of how terrible we could get.
Yeah, exactly. No more.
No.
Goliath, you are smooth. I feel like you're safe. You're never going to be mentioned again, probably. Unless it is to be compared to Twister.
Right.
Oh, man. Okay, it's based on a book called O,
Yeah.
which may
Maybe the book has something.
actually be good. Who knows? Possibly.
Right.
But this is a mess.
Yes.
It's an experimental, artsy mess that doesn't want to look experimental or artsy.
Right.
It's like trying to pass itself off as a narrative movie,
Yep.
but it's not.
Yep. And it is allegedly a comedy.
Right? Right?
Yeah. But yeah, so like from the first 5 seconds when the music started, that's when I declared that this movie was going to be terrible. And, yeah, it was half joking, but the music was awful.
Right. Yeah.
It was just that shitty 80s drum beat thing happening. With, like, you know, like artsy visuals.
Right.
But,
like, almost Stanley Kubrick style font lettering.
Yeah.
Like, credits.
But very cheaply done, too.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, the movie...
Up to this point.
It's not about a twister.
No.
There's apparently a tornado happens,
Sure.
which people like seem to be nonchalantly aware of
Right.
as it's happening. Not
Right.
like
No, yeah.
not like they woke up and were like, oh wow, I guess there was I mean, they're like, oh, there's a tornado outside.
Right.
Let's watch Tennessee Tuxedo.
Is that what that cartoon was?
Yeah.
I'd never seen that.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
man, what's the guy's name? It's the isn't it the Get Smart guy? What's that guy?
Don Adams.
Don Adams. Yeah.
I recognize the voice. I thought it was like Inspector Gadget or something.
Yeah, it's Tennessee Tuxedo and his sidekick Chumley the Walrus.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is funny because I just saw a restaurant or a bar or something called Chumley's yesterday, and I said something about Tennessee Tuxedo, which is weird, but because I hadn't thought about Tennessee Tuxedo in quite some time.
Right. And you had never seen this movie before.
Never.
I've never seen this movie before. You wanted to see it based on the cast.
Yeah,
It's got a good cast.
it's got a really good cast. Jennifer Wright, who I loved in Near Dark, she was great.
Yeah. Harry Dean Stanton.
One of my favorite
course.
actors.
Right.
Yeah. If not my favorite actor, maybe.
Yeah. Dylan McDermott Mulrooney.
Right. An uncredited Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins, yeah.
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover.
Looking suave in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Like he stepped out of a Grant Morrison fever dream.
Yeah, exactly. The hair and the clothes and the dialogue, maybe. Yeah. Wow, yeah. Yeah, he's like... Brian Boland should be drawing Crispin Glover in this movie. He'd be the cover of Invisible's, Volume 4 or whatever.
Yeah. And special guest appearance by William S. Burroughs.
That's right. Which is... Okay. Bleh, maybe like... maybe like half an hour into the movie or something, there's a scene where a guy is drinking a flaming shot of something.
Right.
And then he like throws it on the table and like the whole table catches on fire and like there's liquid splashing around and it's like a tight booth at a restaurant. It's not like he could easily hop out of there. I'm like, wow, that was maybe a dangerous move.
Right.
But like after seeing the William Burroughs scene, I was like, that was so less dangerous than giving William Burroughs a fucking gun. What were they thinking? He's killed people with those guns on accident before.
Allegedly.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, not like in a war or something.
No, yeah.
Like another just random person.
Yep.
Or, wow. That's crazy.
Uh-huh. I mean, that had to be some sort of joke, right?
Well, he's really into guns. I mean,
yeah.
Like, I know he goes to the firing range. Yeah, or he did. I mean, he's no longer alive. But,
Right.
So, I mean, I wonder if it's like just like a nod to like, I mean, you wouldn't think that he'd be like, oh yeah, that's funny because I killed my wife. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I'll do that.
Uh-huh.
Like, I wouldn't think he would do that, but maybe that was the intention. I don't know.
Right. So we watched about 50 minutes of this movie, and then, I suggested we should stop. And then I said we should at least find the William Burroughs scene.
Right.
We watched that. It was about 30 seconds.
Right.
And we were good.
I'm guessing that's his only appearance in the movie.
I would assume so, yeah.
Like, he's William Burroughs. Why would he need to do more?
This movie doesn't have a plot, really.
No.
That I could tell.
No.
I mean, 40 minutes in, if there hasn't been any hint of anything, I would assume there's probably not anything saved for the end.
To me, the only hint of anything was that the father comes home and he wants to save his daughter from having to live with, the mom who lives in this mansion with a bunch of weirdos like her brother Crispin Glover and her father Harry Dean Stanton. And
Right.
and their maid.
Right.
I mean, that's the only sort of anything there seemed to be in this movie. And there was 2 minutes worth of that story we watched.
Yeah.
In the 45 minutes we watched.
Right.
So.
There apparently is also some sort of subplot about the Crispin Glover and the woman searching for their mom.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And that's how they wind up at the Williams-Burroughs house. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we don't... Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this movie's fucking awful.
It's so terrible.
Yeah. Fuck this movie.
Yeah, it's not just like we don't like it.
Right.
It is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even if it was laughably bad, I definitely would have kept on watching it.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not even that.
No.
It is just a pretentious, just
shitty movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, and
normally good actors being terrible.
Right? Yeah. Right. I mean, Crispin Glover, it's his 80s weirdness. And
sure.
That's fine.
And I'm not a huge Crispin Glover fan, but, he does what he does.
I bet he loved doing this, too, because it's fucking weird.
Right.
And he gets to play his guitar and sing.
Right. And dress up. And
even have a fight scene.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of glad to see that when that happened.
Right,
I was like, okay, cool, Crispin Glover in a fight scene. There's something I don't know if I've ever seen, other than in Back to the Future, I guess.
Right,
but, yeah. But yeah, it's, man. And I gotta say, one of our listeners, Brian John Mitchell, he's dating a lady named Chelsea.
Okay.
And who I just met over the weekend. So she doesn't know me very well.
Sure.
So maybe she doesn't feel like she should have saved me from this mess. But I talked to her about this movie, and she said she'd seen it because she's a big Crispin Glover fan. But I told her, I said, in fairness to her, I told her not to tell me anything about it.
Right.
But, man, I really should have got a warning.
Right.
At least a...
What if she loved it?
Ooh. I'd be really curious to talk to someone who loved it and find out why.
Yeah.
Maybe, and find out if we just really missed out by turning it off early. Yeah. Or maybe they read the book first and now they get what's going on, or...
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not an excuse if the book is good and you make a movie that is only good if you've read the book. That's still a bad movie.
That is a very definition of a bad movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you should not have to rely on being familiar with the source material for anything.
Right.
If you're watching an adaptation of it.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, if you are familiar with it and there's little things in the movie.
Yeah, little Easter eggs.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Or whatever, That's perfectly fine. But to people who never read it or whatever, the movie should work on its own.
Right.
And 55 minutes in, it was not working.
No.
Not for us.
Oh, yeah. We don't turn stuff off in the middle. We'll watch anything.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, when I'm here by myself and watching a movie, there's a lot of crap on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I'll see something that may look interesting or whatever, and I'll watch 10, 20 minutes of it. I'm like, nope. But, for the show, for this podcast,
yeah, it's our job.
Right.
It's what we do. It's how we pay the rent. And speaking of Netflix, they did give this movie a 1.5 stars.
Yes, they did.
Is a lot.
Yeah. Half a star.
Yeah, half a star, seriously.
Yeah.
If they do less than half a star, if they do 1/4 a star.
This is 15 pancakes.
I don't know what that means.
Eating 15 pancakes.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Wow.
Yeah.
So sorry.
That's all right.
I had no idea.
Hey, it's fine.
I mean, when you hear a movie has Crispin Glover, William S. Burroughs, Janae Wright, and Harry Dean Stanton, you gotta watch it, right?
Sure.
You would think.
I was not, not looking forward to this movie.
Right.
I didn't know anything about it other than there's cool people in it. I was down with this.
So, the listener.
Don't watch it.
If you've seen
If you did watch it, sorry.
Yeah. If you did this just to be up to date and, to know what's going on with us, we so apologize. And if you haven't watched it and you're huge fans of any or all of those actors, it is not worth it.
Nope. Last week we did The Keep, or the last movie episode we did The Keep,
right.
and that was a bad movie for sure.
Yeah.
But at least there was like monsters in it and some cool things.
Right.
But,
sort of a story, sort of. At least compared to this.
Right. I think I felt a little more confused by this movie than I was by The Keep.
Right.
And, I didn't really understand anything that was happening in The Keep.
At least The Keep was more like, abstract and, there was metaphor and things.
Right.
But this was just what the fuck? It's a mess. And, even the opening scene where, it literally, what's going on. And it's just a dude sitting there talking to Crispin Glover at a lunch table, and he's trying to find out about his lady friend.
Yeah.
What's going on, but it's just so poorly done, and it's excruciating.
Yeah. And it's the dialogue is so unnatural, and it's recited so unnaturally. Here I am saying my lines, pause. Here you are responding to my lines. Pause. Back and forth.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And I love the other movie called Twister.
Oh, yeah. It's one of your favorites.
It is one of my favorites. I would recommend watching that right now to anybody.
Yeah. I'd be down.
Oh, man. Golly.
And I'll even say that, the other Twister is not a great movie either. But it's fun.
Oh, it's super fun.
There's a lot of shit that gets blown around because there's a big fucking tornado.
Yeah.
Because it lives up to its name.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this one has some footage on TV of a tornado.
Right. And then some poorly put together aftermath.
And even that is bad, even when it's on TV, because the announcer says that there's a tornado watch, and in the background behind him it says tornado warning, and it's flashing. It's even that they couldn't get right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Bad.
Very bad. Very bad. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry. We didn't finish watching this movie because it was that terrible.
Nor should we have.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We should have shut it off 20 minutes earlier.
Right. Yeah. Huh. Wow.
So, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Well, that just gives us more time to talk about the other things going on in our lives.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Sure.
What are we talking about?
Well, you went away this weekend.
I did.
Yeah.
I went to Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Home of the Small Press and Alternative Comic Expo, known as Space. Which you usually go to as well.
Yeah.
I'd say you haven't missed in the last 5 years, something like that.
There's a couple I've missed.
Oh, okay.
If I don't go with you for the full weekend, I usually hitch a ride up there with a Joe or someone like that.
Right.
But, yeah, I didn't go at all this year.
Yeah, nobody did. Nobody that I knew. Kathleen stayed here. Joji stayed here. You stayed here. Juliet stayed here.
Yeah.
Sometimes she goes by herself or whatever. But yeah, nobody showed up. It's okay.
No, I feel bad.
No, it's all right.
I will say this. Kathleen and I needed to record an episode of the Stupid Sexy podcast.
Right.
Had that not been a thing, I probably would have figured out a way to go.
Right. Yeah.
So it would have been fun to come up there for the afternoon anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe even hang out and have dinner later with you guys.
Right. Yeah, because Mr. Brian John Mitchell, as we mentioned before, and
love a Brian John Mitchell.
His lady friend Chelsea, who
don't know her.
She is awesome.
Okay.
Other than the fact of not warning me about Twister. No, she's super cool. I was really impressed with her.
She's not going with us to Fort Wayne, is she? Because that's going to be weird.
Probably. I don't know. He didn't mention it. They didn't mention it.
Right.
But yeah, no, Space was cool. It's a 2-day show, and sold some books and sold some prints, and
do all right.
I I like basically paid for the table and like maybe a meal or two, something like that. But you know, I didn't make it rich.
Right.
But I sold some stuff, so that was cool.
Yeah.
But
Anything cool happened while you were there?
well, yeah, a couple of cool things actually. One of them was I got to be on a panel
Ooh.
for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And I shared it with a few other people. One of them being John Porcellino, who is one of my comic book heroes.
Nice.
And we ended up, we were like, sitting right next to each other in the panel, and like I got to chat with him before the panel for a few minutes, and it was just cool. It was
You've
like,
met him a couple times.
Yeah.
Did he remember you at all? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He actually emailed me before Space a couple days, and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna be on the same panel. I'll talk to you then," or something. So
Nice.
he's super nice. Yeah. So that was awesome.
John Porcellino of King Cat fame.
King Cat fame. This is the 25th anniversary year of King Cat
That
comics.
is a very long time to be making a mini comic.
It is probably the longest
Yeah.
time. I don't know of anyone who's done it for more than 25 years. Like they either die or give up before
Right.
then,
Yeah.
or they're or they're younger than
Right.
25 years old.
Or they find some sort of mainstream success.
Right. Yeah. And he's found a little bit of that. I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
But he keeps the mini comics.
Keep still
going,
doing it.
too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was cool. Also another cool thing, Joseph Remnant, the guy who drew the Harvey P. Carr's Cleveland book that we reviewed, he came by my table and bought one of my comics.
Nice.
So that was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I'm a real big fan of his work.
Sure.
He does Blind Spot, and you can see his work at theexpositor.com.
Okay.
So yeah, that was cool. What else? What else was cool? Oh, this was cool. You'll appreciate this, and this might actually be the thing that will make you kind of wish that you had went.
Okay.
Okay, Space is kind of like a nerdy good thing where, a lot of people hang out and meet each other up and, do stuff after the show.
Sure.
So they kind of announced that they're doing this comic book karaoke that night, on Saturday night. So there a lot of people were just going to meet at this karaoke bar on High Street, and Pat Kane came by the show, looking luxurious. He had a mane of hair. I swear, like he's a princess. Like his hair is growing, and
I have not seen Pat Kane in a very long time.
it had been a while for me too. Yeah, I mean, I saw him. He came to Dayton a few months ago or something, but I met him for lunch. But you were at work. You have a job.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think it was 2 years ago the last time I saw him.
really.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he asked about you.
Yeah.
He said to tell you. What did he say? He said to tell Joe G that he's a fake nerd
Okay.
for not coming to Space.
Yeah.
But he just said to tell you hello,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
even though you didn't go to Space.
Right. Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, Pat was looking great. His hair is getting long, and he's developed into a fine-looking young lady. But so yeah, so Pat's like, yeah, they're doing this karaoke thing later. We should go, and I'll be there, and you should meet me up there. And I was like, okay. So we did. We went up there, and no Pat Kane. I didn't see him anywhere. We had a couple beers and just hung out for a while, and still no Pat Kane.
Yeah.
So we decided just to go in and listen to the karaoke. And so I walk in, and like some ladies singing an ELO song, and it's awesome. She's doing great. But after that is over, they're like, and next is Nate. And I look over, and Nate Powell is getting on stage, and where he proceeds to sing Children of the Grave by Black Sabbath.
That's fucking great.
And he destroyed that song. It was amazing. He rocked the shit out of that song. He was doing dance moves, and he did an Ozzy impression of Ozzy announcing the song before the song, where inexplicable. You couldn't understand what he was saying. It was just perfect.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah,
Nate Powell's pretty great.
he is pretty great.
I've mentioned that before. That just every time I've seen him at a show, he's just super friendly and talkative and nice.
Oh, yeah.
And whether he's faking or not, it's always seems like there's a bit of recognition.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that just may be him just being that nice of a guy.
Right.
But, I mean, he does, yeah.
He comes off as an awesome person. And that was another cool thing is, the book he's doing March, they had about, I don't know, a couple dozen pieces of originals of his, like, on display at Space on one of those sort of, walls behind the tables. And you could walk right up to him and, like, just kind of look at the detail. And it is phenomenal. It might be the best work I've seen him do. It's just incredible. It's all black and white with, like, gray sort of, I don't know if it's watercolor or like a really nice, expensive looking brush marker or something, but it is gorgeous. Which the book 2 of that comes out soon, so you guys should check it out.
Nice.
But I mean, that was basically Space in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy happened, but yeah, just some fun, good times.
Yeah.
And we did go to, this lady, Caitlin McGurk was at Space. She works at the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library.
Okay.
And she said, she's like, hey, the library's closed, but she's like, if anybody that is tabling here wants to, like, come by, I'll take you on, like, a secret after-hours tour. And we were like, fuck, yes.
Yeah.
As, it's free,
right.
And, like, and it's not going to be crowded because it's just, like, it was like a dozen of us from Space. And,
because I'm also sure that, a lot of people don't live in the area.
Right, exactly.
Might not get the chance, yeah.
And, she let us in and...
So basically you scammed your way in because you could probably go anytime you want.
Right. Well, she didn't ask where we were from. but yeah, this was Sunday after the show ended and we went there. Brian didn't go. They were just going to head home because it was a long drive, but, me and Avery went in. And
you said nobody went with you.
Oh, well, he didn't meet me. He actually drove up with me.
Okay.
But nobody came up to see us. But man, it is crazy the amount of stuff they have. Like, first of all, like I knew they had a Calvin and Hobbes display going on right now.
Yeah.
We got to see that.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. It even has like the very first Calvin and Hobbes cartoon, and Calvin has like kind of like a
big dick so he can piss on everything.
Yeah, he's pissing on the Ford logo.
Yeah.
That was the first cartoon. No, he's got hair that covers his eyes, and like it's not spiky. It's just like a stoner hair combed down.
Yeah.
And apparently, that's how Watterson first drew the strip. And his editor was like, "Hey, he's like, this looks great and everything, but he's like, I think you should change the main character so you can see his eyes." And so he redrew the first strip, and they printed it as we all have seen it probably.
Right, yeah.
But it was cool that they had the actual original strip where he looks different, and then they had some of the like watercolor covers that Watterson did. But I forget how many they had hanging up, probably 100 of them or something. But they said that they own every single Calvin and Hobbes original, that he donated them all to the library.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, I don't know. He did it for 10 or 12 years or something. I don't know.
Huh.
But yeah, every single one is in that library.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they're only having the exhibit open until August, I thought?
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing that until August, but then everything else is on file, and you can go in and look at it anytime.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which, that's another cool thing about it that we saw is, she took us into the catacombs of the place, into these, temperature-controlled rooms.
Yeah.
And they have just,
walls lined with human skulls?
It is, yeah. No, I mean, they're just... like those art drawers you see at art supply stores that have the big paper, those metal doors.
Right.
There was thousands of those everywhere. We only went in one of the 3 big rooms, and she opened one of the drawers and it had a dozen Winsor McKay originals from 100 years ago.
Right.
And then she opened another drawer and it had all these Milt Kenneth originals from Terry and the Pirates and Steve Canyon, and we saw actual Yellow Kid tear sheets that were in those giant Sunday pages.
Right.
Peanuts originals, just so much crazy stuff. It was, that place, I was actually thinking when I was in there, I was like, I could move to Columbus and just every single day off, I could probably come here and spend 8 hours
right.
for like a couple years and never get fucking bored. I mean,
Right.
there's just so much there.
I would like to make a trip up there at some point.
I would love to go. Well, funny you should say that, because I think next month might be the time we should go.
Okay.
Because they're having a Dan Close exhibit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also in concordance with the Bill Watterson, so you can see both.
Right. Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they're not fucking closed or whatever.
Well, I emailed Brian because, like I said, he didn't go to the exhibit, so he was like, I'd love to see it. But I emailed him and told him, I said, hey, maybe if you come up a day early before Appleseed, we could all go up there and check it out.
I can't take that time off work. Yeah.
You calling sick? Yeah, we'll figure something out. But yeah, I'd love to go. I'd love to go see it. And everybody, like, we're talking about the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library at OSU in Columbus, and it's open every day but Monday, and it's fucking free, and it is amazing. It's like, no joke, it is the largest collection of cartoon artwork on the face of the planet Earth.
Yeah.
They have so much stuff. It's just mind blowing how much stuff they have. And how much amazing stuff they have, like,
Right.
It's like anyone you can think of who's ever drawn a comic in the last, 100 years, they have many pieces of originals by that person. So
Nice.
And there's even a life-size Garfield statue you can take your picture with.
Oh.
So if you needed one last selling point, that is it. And there's another weird thing of, like, this is really cool. That Chester Gould, who did Dick Tracy,
Yeah.
they have his drawing table there where he drew every single strip that he did from the 30s to the 70s. And it's got this, like, giant, like, black smear on it. And somebody asked her about it, Caitlin, and she said that originally she thought, when they got it, that it was probably like, just like ink spots where he, like, tested his brush or something.
Right.
But what they found out was from his granddaughter, she told them that, this is kind of crazy, after every single page every single strip when he finished inking it, he would strike a match on the table and hold it under the strip to make the ink dry faster. And then he would just stuff it right in an envelope and send it out to the paper because he had to, like, do one every day.
Right.
And, like, tons of his strips have, like, burn marks on them and like golden parts where he's, like, held the match too long.
Yeah.
But this table, obviously, I mean, like, I don't know, 365 days a year for 40 years it had a match striked on it. So it's fucking weird and crazy looking. It's something to see.
See, I was guessing fire when you said that.
Yeah.
But, like, in my head, I guess I was thinking, like, he got frustrated one day and just set his drawing table on fire.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like something I might do.
Right?
Just like, fuck all this.
And then just, like, you watch your strip go up in flames that day.
Yeah. I set my shot on fire, and then I drop it on the table.
Right.
Yeah.
As one does.
Yeah. And then there's a weird freeze frame.
Yeah, there was, like, a weird... We were watching the movie, and all of a sudden it paused.
Yeah.
And, like, we're watching it streaming on Netflix. It wasn't a disc.
No, yeah.
So that's weird.
It wasn't pixelated or anything, so it was part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Huh.
Oh, what a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a fun weekend, though.
It was pretty cool. It was, like, the cartoon library thing really did, like, make it all worth it.
Right.
Like even if I had not made any money at all,
right.
I would have still been like, oh my God, because I saw some amazing artwork. I can't even think, like, I saw the first issue of King Cat. They have that there.
Oh, wow.
Which is from, the 80s.
Right.
I'd never seen anything earlier than, like, number 43, I think. And, they had that, like, in a drawer, and they had a copy from, like, 1896 of, Roelof Topher's book, and, like, the guy who may have invented comics.
Right.
And, like, they had some Crazy Cat original art and Yellow Kid, I don't know, just all kinds of stuff. It's just crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody should check it out.
I look forward to doing so at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully next month.
Yeah.
Because I like me some Dan Klaus.
He's great, isn't he?
And I've never been a huge Calvin and Hobbes fan, but I do like Bill Watterson's art.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it looks even better when you can see, like, the whiteout and all the little things.
And that goes back to, like, a couple of years ago when we went to Chicago to see the exhibit in the museum.
Yeah.
And, it's just, like, comics is, like, the one art form where, like, it's almost, like, proudly displayed all the flaws and fuck-ups.
Right. Yeah. Like, little notes written in the margins and just all that stuff. Yeah. So perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything exciting happen in Dayton?
No.
No?
No. Yeah, nothing, really. I went to see a movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. I saw The Raid 2.
Sweet.
Because, as the listener might know, I am a big fan of The Raid. I think we reviewed it.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
It quickly became one of my favorite movies. And so, when The Raid 2 was announced, I was like, fuck and yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. Take my money.
Did it live up to your expectations?
No.
Oh.
No, it did not. It was 2.5 hours long.
Oh, okay. That's a long time for an action movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It was, it was good. Like, I liked it. It's a good movie.
It's no Twister, though, right?
It's no Twister. It's no Goliath.
All right. Hey, we mentioned it again. We said we wouldn't.
No, yeah, it's a good movie. It is really good, and it does have the level of action that the first Raid had, but it's trying to be something else.
Oh.
Like, it's trying to be this big, epic, sprawling crime drama.
Okay.
With, like, crime families warring against each other and, like, undercover cops and corruption.
A lot of exposition.
And just, and like, I don't necessarily mind that. And again, like I said, it's good. But the reason I loved the first Raid movie so much is because, like, from the time that it started to the time that it ended, it was just all about kicking ass.
Right.
And just intense fucking action and martial arts and ass kickery.
Right.
And, like, it didn't try to be anything more than that. It was just, like, a very small, intimate movie. And this one is trying to be, like, The Godfather. Kinda.
Right. Yeah.
And it just doesn't work when all you want to see is just people getting their fucking legs broken in the most horrible way possible.
Right. Well, it seems like
that happens.
Yeah. But then all the other.
Right.
Well, see, usually in film, there's a fine line between the amount of action and the amount of, like, dialogue-driven story that you have.
Right.
But in like, super intense action movies, that line is even more delicate because, you don't want to lose the momentum.
Right.
It's like when you watch a Godzilla movie and all you want to see is him destroy more shit and fight more monsters.
Right.
You don't give a fuck about the people that are somehow affected by this. Like, you just don't care.
Right.
They need to tweak that.
Yeah. And I thought the first Raid did that balance fine. Like, they had, like, the small moments, to sort of catch your breath.
Right. Yeah.
And just sort of lead you into the next. This one guy is going to fight 40 guys in a hallway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's all you need. You don't need a large chunk of that. You need enough to make you care about the characters.
Exactly.
But then you're like, okay, and now we're moving on.
Exactly. Yeah. And I respect the ambition.
Right.
Of, the director wanting to try a different thing with it. But, it's not what made the first Raid so great.
Yeah.
But still, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It is a very good movie.
That's cool. I'll probably see it on DVD.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you got to do some extra stuff, like, there's a car chase that's pretty awesome.
Sweet.
A couple of different sequences, I mean, with the first Raid, he was confined to the building,
Right.
But here, you can do car chases and, subway chases and, stuff like that. But, still, just all that other stuff just was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, 2.5 hours. That seems like a long time.
Yeah. Especially when you consider the trailers and all that. I was there for like 3 hours.
Right. Yeah. And yeah. Well, at least Twister wasn't 2.5 hours.
No,
Can you imagine that?
Oh my god.
How long would we have had to watch to not feel terribly guilty? Like an hour, probably.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I think I still probably would have wanted to turn it off at half an hour.
Oh my gosh. Twister.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. But then the rest of the weekend was just did a podcast with Kathleen on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then spent the rest of the weekend with my lady friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I got a girlfriend now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
A little bit, sure.
Yeah?
I mean, it's just kind of awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I met her.
The listener will know that I'm a perpetual sad sack, and I have been deathly alone for years. And that is now temporarily over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she seems really cool. I like her.
She's really awesome. Yeah.
She's never told me to watch Twister, so she's like the coolest girl I know. Yeah, she seems awesome. So would you guys do anything crazy, anything cool?
Not really. We went out to dinner on Friday with her sister, which was fun. Mm-hmm. Then just kind of hung out on Saturday night. Didn't really do much of anything. Then Sunday night we decided to cook dinner stay in, and went to Kroger and bought some food and ran into a crazy person.
Oh,
yeah,
right. Someone you know?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just random stranger decided to have a conversation with us.
Right.
Yeah. So we were trying to figure out what to cook, and we decided on like some sort of jambalaya type gumbo thing, rice and bean stew type meal. So we were gathering the ingredients, and we wanted to put some sausage into the mixture.
Oh, to ruin it.
Yeah, no, to make it great.
Okay.
So we went over to the section, and my girlfriend, it's weird to say, she wanted like smoked sausage, and I was like, no, it's supposed to be, let's kick it up a little bit, and I said, I think chorizo would go well with it.
Ooh.
And and then she said something, and then suddenly this lady came, who was standing like a foot away from us. It was just like, I'm sorry, you didn't finish your sentence? Could you tell me, please, what it is you think that the chorizo would go well with? We're making this jambalaya type thing, and she's like, oh yeah, he's right. You want the chorizo? Yeah, that'd be great. I'm like, okay, so I grabbed the chorizo and I put it in the cart, and she was like, hi, my name is Foodie Judy.
Foodie Judy.
Yes.
like she's really into food.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's how she introduced herself. She said, my name is Foodie Judy. I'm a dietitian, and I love my job, as she waved her hands over her body.
Wow.
And then proceeded to talk to us for the next 5 minutes.
Did you find out, does she do food reviews or anything?
She works at a nursing home, and she is in charge of the nutrition and dietary, stuff for the residents.
Wow, nice.
And she said that when she got her job there, she introduced herself to the staff and the residents as Foodie Judy, and so that everybody would remember her.
It's hard to forget.
Yeah.
So she validated your recipe.
Yeah, she did.
So that must feel good.
Yeah. And I was right. It was great. Yeah, right. It was pretty great.
Did your lady friend agree?
Yeah, she really liked it. She is eating the leftovers tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Foodie Judy.
Foodie Judy.
It rhymes, is why it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. She is lucky that she had a name that could rhyme with foodie.
It might have been like Pamela, but she just said, I'm going to change it.
Right. Spamela Pamela.
Oh, wow, yeah. That would have been so much better. Like, yep, we use nothing but spam for the residents of this nursing home. It's awful. Yeah. Well, we did it, sort of.
Yeah, we did.
We sort of did a podcast.
Yeah, we did. Well, we did a podcast. This is the very definition of a podcast.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just didn't feel like putting up with the rest of that fucking movie.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah. No one said we have to review stuff.
No, it's true.
You know, we don't have a boss.
I mean, hell, we have fully watched movies and fully read comics and still barely reviewed them.
That's true. Yeah, we probably did talk about this movie more than we have some of the movies we watched.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pick a comic for the next episode.
Yeah, we're going to have to read the whole thing?
I've already read the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm hoping you will read the whole thing.
That's a good sign if you made it through, too.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick a little comic that the trade paperback comes out this very week.
Ooh.
This very week. So, listener, by the time you hear this, you can go out and you can get the trade paperback if you want.
Sweet.
And I'm sure you can also find the individual issues of this book. Sex Criminals.
Oh, wow.
By Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky.
I'm actually super excited to read this because it has the word sex in the title.
And criminal.
And criminal is, that's a cool one, too.
But sex.
Yeah. Mostly. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I have been looking forward to this.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sex Criminals. The trade paperback comes out this week, eh?
Yes.
So Kathleen will be buying that, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, she did ask me the other day if it was out, and I said I didn't know for sure, but then I saw that it's due to come out this week.
That, actually, that reminds me, there's one thing I forgot to mention, too, about space. I got my copy of the Hip Hop Family Tree.
Oh, yeah.
Autographed by Nate Powell and John Porcelino.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to hopefully get some more signage on that when we go to Fort Wayne, Indiana next month.
I was kind of hoping maybe I could find a copy, for myself to get signed when we go there, but what I did instead was pre-order a package deal of Volume 1 and 2 that's coming out in November. But it was a pretty good discount, and it comes with a bonus comic, so
sweet.
I'm looking forward to that. So
yeah,
I've made the future purchase of Hip Hop Family Trees Volume 1 and 2.
Nice.
My internet pal JB Sapienza, I posted the Hip Hop Family Tree episode today.
Oh, okay.
Told me that he's been reading them online. And that, it's his favorite comic right now, pretty much. But
Right.
He's like a huge hip-hop fan anyway, too. But he was, like I told him, I was like, I started reading them, but there was, like, so much that, I just couldn't
keep up with it.
Right, yeah. Or, backtrack to the beginning,
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, you totally should, because it's worth it. And I was like, I'm just going to pay for it like a sucker.
And it's worth it.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty well done.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sweet. Sex Criminals.
Sex Criminals next week.
So criminals with an S?
Yes.
Okay. Sweet. All right.
All right, then.
Well, sorry.
Eh.
Live and learn.
Yep. It happens.
At least it's on Netflix streaming for free
It's true.
if you want to see it for free.
Right?
We don't recommend that.
Not at all. That is a waste of your time.
Yes, but at least it's not a waste of your money.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, then. Well, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.